So, it's been a while to be in the hot seat, but glad to be here. So,
It's extra hot today.
yeah, it's been great. Thanks to all the insight about autism and spectrum. So, I have been practicing being less of a figure-outer, and the idea of accepting where I am in the now. I want more confidence in that's how things will play out. Because I understand that everything's in my vortex. I put there through conscious and appreciation. But I have this tendency, my mind is facile and smart, and I like to figure things out, but then I worry, I'm trying to let go of the reins, so to speak.
Well, you are a thinker, and you are articulate, and you are guiding a lot of people a lot of time. And so to communicate with others, it requires some conversation. And so it's easy to understand why that would be your first sort of go-to. But what you are coming to realize is that your point of attraction, it's different when you're communicating to someone else than when you are attracting for yourself. Can you feel the distinction?
Yes, it goes along those ideas of trying to be in an aligned state to speak to people from an aligned state, but calling them forward. They may be at a lower vibration, but trying to call them forward, as opposed to trying to let things work out for me, because I tend to think through stuff.
Well, let's back up just a little bit, and let's think about the concept of presenting myself to the field of attraction. Once that is your primary awareness, then thoughts come to you. You become the receiver of the thought. And there's a big difference between being the receiver of the thought and the thinker of the thought. And of course you are the receiver of the thought, and therefore you are the thinker of the thought. But how is it that you are summoning the thought? Through your desire, through your question, through your asking, through your giving. But as I present myself to the field of attraction by caring how I feel, then as you do that more and more, you do it a lot, then you're tuned in, and then the words are inspired rather than thought up. Most of your words are inspired, but you don't know that. You keep thinking you're thinking them up. You keep thinking you're thinking them up because they're coming out of your mouth, so you think you're thinking them up. But you know how you can tell whether you're thinking them up or whether they're inspired?
How good it feels.
Yeah. We had a funnier punchline than that,
but... Which is?
Well, if you're thinking them up, often they are a little more snarky or a little more controlling or a little more commanding, where if they're inspired, they are always coming from your source energy point of view, where you are taking whoever it is that you're speaking to, you are seeing them in a perfect place. You're going to like this, where you are in no way evoking justification from them. You don't make them defensive. You can tell by what comes back to you. If your words are inspired, they never evoke defensiveness. Ever.
And that feels really great, because there's that lighthearted playfulness. So the flip side is my feeling defensive. Like, I attract experiences meeting people halfway where I feel defensive.
Oh, well, then take a nap. You just have to take yourself away from whatever it is that is causing you to defend. Ooh, this is such a good conversation. So just take a breath, everyone, and let's think about your interpersonal relationships with other people. And let's think about you presenting yourself to the field of attraction, but everybody else is too. And hardly anybody is doing it deliberately. So people are just showing up. They're just showing up, and they've got a bag of marbles that represents what's going on with them. And then the law of attraction is mixing the marbles. And then people are noticing the results of the mixture of the marbles, but nobody feels in control. So everybody feels a little more commanding, a little more demanding, a little more like I need to be more in charge, and or a little more defensive. Where you can rise above all of that by just being more deliberate about how you show up, what your bag of marbles, the thoughts that are active within you now, how they feel to you as you think them. Let's go back to your original question. What was it?
It was to trust that not having to figure things out.
Figure things out. So hold the phrase, figure things out. So figure things out. Define that.
Well, to be...
Can you feel the difference between having a question and receiving an answer?
Yes.
So why would there be any reason for you to figure things out?
And that's a subtle difference of receiving the thought versus...
Unless you're trying to show off for somebody or get credit for something. We've gone a long way here today about being willing to let yourself be a different species, so to speak, who is willing to be a receiver rather than needing to be an achiever.
I'm on the edge of this feeling of I achieve a lot. I have a fantastic life. I relish and appreciate my life and the people in it.
We know it for sure, but we're going to nitpick. Are you achieving or are you receiving? And is there a difference? There's a difference in the way you look at it because it's your hard work and effort. If you are achieving it, if you are receiving it, then you're in alignment. And we just want to ask you what the real work is.
I'm more receiving than ever before.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
And I'm on... Is it possible? Here's the answer.
Yeah.
So the amount of receiving is just like every time you manifest something, this new contrast that clarifies what you want, but each time you get more adept at receiving what the vortex is allowing, there's more of it to recognize, to allow, there's more of it to allow, more of it to allow. Because
your bandwidth keeps moving. When you get into that appreciative mode of joy and knowledge and empowerment and freedom and love and appreciation, when that's where you are, your optimum receiving mode or power, you hang around there a lot, but there is this thing. So ask your original question again. Because we keep interrupting you, but we really want to hear it because your ability to know what we know has changed in the short time that you've been in the chair. So ask the question again.
I want greater confidence and trust in receiving the solutions, not having to figure it out, not having to achieve and work how to figure stuff out. I'm supposed to just let it show up.
But isn't figuring it out what you just said? It's allowing your path of least resistance to soften and soften and soften. That's what figuring it out is. Finding better feeling ways to present yourself to the field of attraction where you can better receive the answer that you have evolved to. You see what's happening with you? Your questions are evolving so fast that it's hard for you to keep up with the answers because the questions are coming so fast. But that's what mastery is. That's how it is. You never get it done.
I had a relish moment when I realized of today, sitting in the chair, and I've been saying, our son is applying to college or graduate school and da-da-da. But it was just a subtle shift, and I think as you brought the energy into the room, that was like, instead of explaining or the details of it, it's like, he's applying to graduate school. He's going to graduate school. It's just letting it be and not figuring out, justifying, explaining the details, just letting it be.
So
letting it his.
You're onto something really big here. So why are you inclined with your son to just let it be? Because you don't want to take the fun out of it for him. So why do you want to take the fun out of it for yourself?
That's how I feel about retirement. That's the real question.
But wait.
Yeah. Why? Because I'm responsible. I'm the one that takes care of everyone.
Don't miss the point.
Okay.
What we're asking you is, you don't try to figure it out for your son because you trust the laws of the universe, you trust him, you know that the path of least resistance is a wily thing, and you know that it's the good stuff of life that you get to watch it unfold. So you'll stay out of his way because you don't want to
disrupt his fun.
Yeah, you don't want to get in the way of it.
Or his sense of experience, yes.
Better phrase, you don't want to add any contradictory energy. You don't want to introduce split energy into the equation. can you hear that you may be introducing split energy into your own equation when you try to figure things out that aren't quite where your bandwidth is? So if your intention is just to keep improving your ability to receive, that's how you figure it out. So who's figuring it out? We're figuring it out. You and your inner being is figuring it out.
As I move up the emotional scale, my bandwidth goes up. The next step, and it's trusting that all the way that all these other things in my vortex are really there. Well, and sometimes I got it. Sometimes I'm like, oh, am I doing the right things? Am I always there?
Just feel your way there rather than think your way there. A phrase you could offer to yourself is, instead of figuring it out, feeling it out. Just change that one word for a little while. Instead of figuring it out, feel it out.
Wow, that was really good.
Yeah. And then the figuring comes. Yeah. You can let everybody else know that you figured it out after you felt it out. In other words,
because you feel good, those thoughts come. I mean, how many times you feel like, oh, that's a great idea. My husband is brilliant at, in the moment, saying, let's go, whatever. And I'm like, okay, because I'm thinking instead of just, oh, feel it. And I'm better and better at it, and receiving it better and better, and that's okay. That's okay, them get better at it.
Really good.
Thank you.
What he said.